Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. High atop Ranger Stadium, it is time for the 61st running of the Jesuit-Sheaner Relays. I'm Brian Montgomery, joined by Jet Kipnis. Full crew here in the press box. We got Carson Long, Gianni Gutierrez, and Sutton Wall helping us out today. And we had a fantastic preliminaries. I hope you all had a chance to tune in and see how that went down. And we are now turning our attention to finals as we are set for an action-packed afternoon on a gorgeous day. The big thing we'll have to take into effect here, Jet, is the wind. I mean, you can look at the flag on the north side of the stadium, and you can see it is blowing pretty heavy towards the north side. There's been a lot of high, heavy winds that have been holding throughout the week, and that seems to be continuing today, Jet.
Yeah, those winds could definitely really affect times. Running into the wind is it's awful. It's really hard, especially on the 400 when the last 100 meters, and the wind just in your face. You're tearing up, your legs are building lactic acid, so that can really affect times today. But it also can be really good for the 100 or 200 if you're running with the wind, which that could really improve times for some athletes today.
And so looking at our first event of the day, it'll be the girls 4x100 meter relay. Let's go ahead and take a quick look and see what that looks like. In lane 1, we're going to have Keller Timber Creek. Lane 2 will be Arlington Martin. Lane 3, Mansfield Lake Ridge. Lane 4, Duncanville. Lane 5 is Allen. Lane 6 is McKinney North. Lane 7 is Plano East. And Lane 8, Frisco Emerson. And looking at prelims, Jet, I think anytime we're seeing Duncanville and Allen in the same side is going to be really exciting. Kind of seeing those two high-caliber schools duke it out head-to-head will be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this meet is stacked with all those South Dallas programs. You got DeSoto, Duncanville, and then you got Allen up north. When you see those teams on the sheet at those meets, you know you're going to have some phenomenal times. I mean, year after year they produce athletes, and it's kind of crazy how they can just keep up those times year after year in those relays and just send kids to state every year and win state championships like it's nothing.
Yeah, the big thing, especially when it comes to a school like Duncanville, is just simply consistency, right?
Exactly.
Across the board. And to
Every
see
sport, too.
And to really see across the board, you've seen a lot of programs. I mean, these are constant visitors here to the Sheaner Relays, Allen, Duncanville, Lake Ridge. We see them a lot. And, you know, to see schools like McKinney North, Plano East, even Arlington Martin, especially from Jesuit standpoint, us being a Region 1 6A school, to see those programs, and really Region 1 6A in general, being incredibly well represented at this meet today is really cool to see. And so we're looking forward to a really stacked field here. We had an unbelievable prelims, and we'll keep talking as we go here on the broadcast. It's been electric. We've seen some unbelievable times. We've seen some incredible performances, and I think we're only going to see more as we go and we continue here during the Jesuit-Sheaner Relays. But the big thing I think we're going to see that we did not see in the morning will be that speed, especially on the back end of the races, Jet, because a lot of the times, especially for the 4x1, 400, 800, that second leg is going into the wind, but that tailwind coming in, we're going to see some fast times coming down the home stretch.
Definitely. And the thing about finals is it kind of just knocks out all the other times.
And so I think with that being said, we are set for the start of our first race of the Jesuit-Sheaner Relays as the 4x1 is going to get going. And off they go, the 4x100 in the girls' division. Coming down the opening stretch, looking how tight it is to start. Let's see who's coming in here on the first turn.
Looking pretty close right here all across the board.
Yeah, it looks to be Allen barely in the lead. On the far edge is Keller Timber Creek.
Third handoff.
Third handoff looking strong. Allen starting to gain some space. Duncanville is catching ground, though. Let's see what happens at this final exchange. Going to be key to see a clean handoff. Allen has it. Duncanville in second.
Great handoff.
Here they come down the home stretch. Duncanville, Allen, head-to-head. This is what we're expecting all day. Duncanville turns on the Jets. The Afterburners put this one away. Duncanville is going to win the first race of the Jesuit-Sheaner Relay Finals. They win the girls 4x100 meter relay. What an incredible fourth leg. And I think we talked about that wind. Exactly. I mean, I think she would have won that anyways.
That was phenomenal.
But that was an incredible kick.
That third handoff on Duncanville was very good. And then that fourth handoff going into the last straightaway with the anchor was also extremely good. And that third leg by Duncanville was phenomenal. She totally just ate up that curve. Each step, she kept getting closer to the girl on the left. And that's really just helped the anchor not have to do as much work. And then she just pulled away and won the race.
Yeah, you got to call Randy. I'm not there. I'm calling the broadcast. Move on to the 4x100 meter in the 5A boys division. Crandall, Emerson, Timberview, McKinney North, Corsicana, Newman Smith, and Aubrey. That's your lineup for this one. And I mean, like, again, Timberview has really been one of those teams that has been quite impressive throughout the time that they've been here, even throughout the entirety of the finals, and it's just been consistent for them, right? And kind of what they've been able to do on a year-by-year basis. Timberview's kind of become the rule of the roost here in 5A.
Yes, and also you can't sleep on Crandall, too. That's very far from us. I think it's east, southeast.
Yeah.
They have some country boys that can run. They're really fast. Crandall, they're the Crandall Pirates, but you can't sleep on Crandall either, so watch them.
Sick logo, by the way. Big fan of the Crandall Pirates logo.
It's like, what, black and gold?
It's kind of like Pittsburgh Pirate-y, but
awesome.
but the pirate looks way cooler,
cool.
you know? And, I mean, but then I believe as well, as we take another quick peek at that, McKinney North in the 4 spot, so they came in as the top qualifier. It would not surprise me at all if we kind of see that same duke out that we saw in that previous meet between Duncanville and Allen. Corsicana came in today, and I'm really excited, for example, for the, I think it was the 300-meter hurdles, to see that young man from Corsicana run again.
Now some really good
but, I mean, this is going to be really an entertaining race, and the 5A division has just continued to improve year over year over year.
Yeah.
And I think that we're about to see that here in this race. So just an absolutely exciting, beautiful day. We knew kind of early on it was going to, the sun was going to look solid, and the wind. The wind was the big factor, and I think we've kind of had that answered now. Really quickly, before we turn our attention to the 5A, the final time for the Duncanville girls was 45.53. That was the winning time in the 4x1. Second place was actually Lake Ridge. Sniped Allen there at the very end, 45.96.
4x1 taking off right
So
now.
4x1 for the boys 5A division. Second race of the relays. I believe I saw Frisco, Newman Smith actually was right in there to start.
Yeah, of course.
But here comes Crandall. And I think that's Timberview. I want to say McKinney North and Crandall. Those are your 3. Coming along the...
Crandall really has to eat up this curve right now.
See how the exchange goes. It looks to be a breakaway now.
Yep.
Moving clean downfield. Nowhere but open space to run. And we'll wait for the confirmation. I believe that was Mansfield Timberview, Jet.
Think so. I thought Crandall could still have it on the second leg, but they had some. The handoff really wasn't that great going into the last curve and to the anchor, which kind of just slew them down.
And really, one of the best things that I like about this meet, and it kind of makes it one of those meets that is a must attend for anybody that's considering, man, should my school come to the Sheaner Relays? 100%.
Definitely.
You're going to see area and regional competition or something of the like, and you can kind of really get a good measuring stick to where you are at this point of the year. And I mean, it's very hard to go to a meet and know on your left and on your right. It's a very good chance you're going to see them down the road at some point.
I was actually about to say that. Think about these athletes that they see these kids out all the way throughout their track season at different meets, and they know when times start to peak at the end of the season, after all their workouts are done, after all their meets, they're like, okay, I need to beat this kid by however many steps, seconds, and I'm probably going to see him in the finals and whatever race in my district, and then maybe later on in area too. So you kind of just have a feel for how hard you need to work and how much talent is really around you. Mansfield
Timberview got the win, 40.76. Believe that could...
said 40.76.
40.76, and so we'll see what the wind affects that, but that would be a meet record if it's not too heavily wind-dated. Finishing in second was McKinney North, 41.28. Newman Smith in third, 41.38. And Emerson, 42.76. So with that, we turn our attention to the 6A 4x1.
Some teams to watch here is in lane 5, DeSoto, and Capel, lane 7, too.
Yeah, I mean, right, again, DeSoto, Duncanville in 4-5. Prosper really looking solid there at 6. Again, big thing I want to talk about is watch lane 7. Matthew Moldima on the anchor leg for Coppell. We'll talk about him a little bit more down the stretch. As we are off for the 4x1 6A division.
Arlington DQ.
And so Arlington not participating in this one. As they're coming around the second exchange. Looks to be a duke out right now between DeSoto and Duncanville.
Wow, these curves are really eating it up.
Man, here we go. let's see what's going to happen here
like
in this Region 2 showdown. DeSoto, Duncanville.
DeSoto
just simply trying to hold him off. Can he do it over the final 50? This is going to be close. Oh, I think that was Duncanville.
So good old rivalry between these two schools.
Yeah,
I
feel that was Duncanville. Of course, our angle we're not directly on top of the finish line, but my goodness, what an amazing final 50 between those two squads.
Can't wait to see these times.
Unbelievable. Welcome to DeSoto, Duncanville once again, folks. I know that we talk about it a lot in the fall, but I'll tell you, track and field might be a little bit, maybe just even better than football, watching those two teams duke it out.
It's so crazy how close these schools are and the athletes they produce year after year. It's like, how many miles? 10 miles or something
maybe.
From school to school?
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's unbelievable.
DeSoto's.
Yeah, I see. I think he may have held them off again. Our angle, we're a little bit off. So a team that's running, or an individual that's running on the inside edge, is probably for us going to look a little bit more like they're in front. We will quickly see here. I think we're waiting for the official timer to actually get a photo finish, as it rightfully should be, as we wait for the next event, which is the 800-meter run. And, Jed, I mean, this is the 61st running of the Jesuit-Sheaner relays. I mean, this is one of the meets in Texas that is not only well-known for its competitive level, but also just straight up for its ability to just be something that is it's so well-known, right?
It is.
You know it's coming. You know the Sheaner relays right in the middle of right after spring break. It's going to be a big-time meet. It's going to be really key to see how it all goes down. And just to see the annual turnout is really, really impressive.
Thing about Sheaner is it's almost like it's up there of Texas relays. It's like, oh, wow, you're going to Sheaner relays? There's that team's going to be at Sheaner relays. Everyone knows Sheaner. And it's like dads, grandpas have ran in Sheaner. It's just tradition. You just got to do it. And it's a huge deal in the state of Texas.
So 4x1, 6A results are official. We'll go from third down. Third place is going to be Coppell at 41.40.
Wow.
Second place is going to be DeSoto. 40.72.
He got him.
Winning by 4/100ths of a second on that anchor leg was Duncanville, coming in down the stretch, picking up the very narrow win. I mean, by his chest, right? Just breaking through and getting that done. Unbelievable finish.
I mean, don't you just love track and field? Like, that was awesome right
there.
Yeah. This is just phenomenal.
And I mean, whenever the originators of the sport put together the standard meet order for a varsity high school event, kicking it off with the 4x1 and then ending it with the 4x4 was probably the best. It's the best way to go, right? I mean, it's kind of like watching like an AC/DC concert. Like, you're going to start with a really good song, you're going to end with a really good song, and in between, it's all good in between. So, but it's been exciting, an absolutely fantastic start to this one. And so we're going to quickly step aside, catch our breath, come back as we're going to move to the 800-meter run. Do not go anywhere. You're watching the 2025 Jesuit-Sheaner Relays. And welcome back, folks, as we are set for the 800-meter run. We're going to have two races in this one, and we will break down the entrance here for the girls' division. Catherine Evans from Burleson, Ariel Simpson from Euless Trinity, Nora Ryan from Prosper, Mia Rowe from Lucas Lovejoy, Aaron Young from Prosper, Raina Hesserer from Byron Nelson, Merritt Beckman and Presley Andras from Ursuline, Madeline Holland from Liberty Christian, Kaylee Horneck from Lovejoy, Savannah McDonald from Heath, Mallory Schurer from Coppell, Tatum Hapes from College Station, Evangeline Monoretto from Willis, and Daniela Beza from Longview Jet. Correct me if I'm wrong, which events did you run during track and field? You weren't one of the people that did the 800, right?
No.
I figured.
But someone to watch here is Merritt Beckman.
Yes.
Little sister of Henry Beckman, currently a TCU runner. This was his race at Jesuit.
Henry Beckman in the 800 was fantastic.
So fun to watch. You'd see him in the back for the first lap, and then you'd see him hawk everyone down in the second lap, and you'd see how focused he was every single race. And for Jesuit, it was always just, we knew, we're getting the gold with Henry Beckman. And that's why he's at TCU.
You want to talk about a really good move? Mia Rowe from Lovejoy just kind of threaded the needle on the first turn to get herself a little bit of an opening. And, I mean, Jed, we talked about it. I mean, we're going to keep mentioning it, folks. We apologize in advance. We're going to keep talking about the win because it's going to be such a massive factor. You can see it on the tents in the background. And so from Rowe, you look at her opportunity there just to really, really quick push-up, get yourself in a spot. It's kind of a risk reward, right? Because number one, you're going to catch the wind on the back end, but number two, you're going to be burning a lot of energy there, just fighting forward at that point in the race.
Going in your face.
And you can see that because even after that was a fantastic move. She's back in second now and possibly trailing even further halfway through this 800-meter run. Really, all the racers so far keeping up good pace. We'll get the leader as she makes the first turn
here.
I
think that's Beckman in second place right now.
Yeah, see two Ursula in red. Kind of starting to piece it together here around the corner. Let's see who starts to move down. I believe there might be a Lovejoy runner, which would be Kaylee Horneck, the junior.
Okay, two Ursula.
And so, yes, Horneck is right there. Now battling forward is Catherine Evans.
Beckman making a move right here.
Here comes Beckman on the far edge. Mia Rowe once again trying to make a move. Let's see if that Beckman kick spans over to the siblings end as well. You can see she's waiting. She's taking that outside edge. She's
trying to make
looking to kind of make that move right there, fighting against the wind, knowing she'll have the open space here once the turn is made.
That wind's a problem.
This is going to be Evans versus Beckman. Evans starting to lengthen her stride, though, starting to pull away a little bit down the final 100 of this one. And what a fantastic job by Evans on the kick. She's starting to gain some distance. Beckman's trying to catch her. Yeah. This is going to come down to the final 50. It's not going to happen, though, as Catherine Evans, the senior from Burleson, picks up the win.
Yeah, and then Beckman in second, another Ursuline girl.
A great race from all the participants.
Presley Andrus right now. Phenomenal. That was a fun race. That win on that last curve looked horrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
we knew coming in that the gusts could be as high as 30 miles per hour, and of course that's not what you're experiencing in an actual wind shear stadium. But I mean, you can see it, folks, on that second turn when we're heading towards what for us is the southwest side of the stadium. You can see the tents almost buckling from the wind speed. There's a Flower Mound Marcus tent that we're looking at, and it's starting to move. I mean, it's starting to get some speed to it.
Yeah. That last curve, I honestly feel bad for the athletes. Running into the wind like that it's honestly the worst thing because it's like your eyes get full of water. You can't see. You're trying to focus. You're trying to make a move. You're trying to find that last gear, and it's hard to not think about the wind because you're like, oh my gosh, this wind is in my face. Like, I'm tired of this. Can there be no wind? So that's just another factor added into all these races throughout the day as it's just so windy.
And so a combined 800-meter run in the 6A, 5A. I mean, there's a lot of fantastic runners here. We'll run through the full lineup, but there's one young man we have to talk about before he gets going. Justin Northwest sophomore, Cooper Lutkenhouse, coming in as one of the most hyped-up runners that we've seen in this field. Him and Jonathan Sims, who we'll see later on this afternoon in the 200.
Remember that name, Jonathan Sims.
But Cooper is right up there, too. He is one of those runners who has just simply made a massive name for himself throughout his time so far competing in Texas. And for Justin Northwest, I mean, it's just been an absolute huge contributor to that team. And so we'll see what he's got here He broke the high school indoor record earlier this year, it looks like. I believe it happened in the 800. Yep, absolutely. So, yeah, he broke the indoor record with a 146.86, the national record in the 800-meter run earlier this year indoors. And let's see how that transfers itself to competing outdoors. And off they go.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some really good times right here. They're moving out of the gates.
And I mean, of course, you know, I'm not, and never will be pretending to be a track expert in any way, shape, or form.
Justin Northwest right here.
Yeah, but that's Lukenhaus that we talked about. I think the biggest thing, especially in an 800, if you know that you have and you possess that ability, that the getaway speed, that those opening 5 steps are critical.
Exactly.
Right? You want to get the gap, you want to get the distance. That way, you can run your race.
And you don't want to get stuck in the pack because that's just another factor added later in the race. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to get ahead. I got to make a move. Especially if you're later in the pack. Lukenbach right here is just.
Yeah, Lukenhaus.
It's like that song, Lukenbach, Texas.
How do I know you're from Texas, Chet? You said just immediately went to Lukenbach.
Yeah, exactly. Little old honky tonk.
I like it. So Lukenhaus, again, just really starting to gain some space here. He's absolutely pulling away from the field. And, I mean, he came in, again, one of those racers that we knew coming in that we were going to talk about. And he is coming up as advertised here, folks.
He is.
And just a competition for second.
He's meeting all the hype right now. Wow. What? How much do you think he's in front by? What, 40 meters?
Oh, minimum. And I mean,
it's getting bigger and bigger.
And I'm quickly looking right now to see if we can make sure what the record is for the 800-meter run, because I think it's officially in danger here.
He's about 60 meters in front.
I mean, you're talking from the 30 to the 40, so on its own, you know, you're looking at a 30-yard advantage, and he crosses the finish line under 150. Probably even better than that. I mean, let's look really quick at the old record here of this 800-meter run.
On that last curve, it looked like the wind didn't even affect him. He just ran straight through that wind, kept going, and then expanded his lead right out of the curve.
So, I mean, he definitely set the record there, because either it was going to be you look at the 6A record, it was 151.48. The 5A record, 151.97. So that one definitely just was toppled by Lukenhaus again. We are not really sure. You never really know, especially when it comes to wind, how things will be perceived or recorded. But to start, just what a performance. I mean, that, again, this is the national indoor record holder in the 800-meter run, and he just came in and threw down a sub-150 in the 800-meter run.
That's awesome. And the thing about records, they're meant to be broken. They always are in every sport. But having a record in Sheaner relays is a big deal. It doesn't matter if it's 5A, 6A. You get to say, I have the record in Sheaner relays.
We can look really quick and tell you Catherine Evans finished with a 2:15.42 in the 800-meter run. Merritt Beckman did finish second with a 2:16.31, followed by her classmate Presley Andras with a 2:16.45. And then, again, we'll wait here for a moment to get the final numbers for the 800-meter run. But, again, as expected, kind of that unbelievable performance from top to bottom from Lukenhaus. And talking with the one and only Randy Jennings from the Dallas Morning News. Going to probably chat up with him a little bit and get his name in the paper. That's what happens when you run sub 150 at an incredibly competitive
high school track. To watch. That was awesome.
And on the horizon, we have the girls' 100-meter hurdles along with the boys' 110. We'll bring that to you here in a moment. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the 2025 Jesuit-Sheaner Relays. And welcome back. We were brought in by Cooper Lukenhaus. We got to quickly change our attention back here to the girls' 100-meter hurdles as quickly running across the finish line. That was a fantastic job by our camera guy, Carson Long, who caught Kalani Lawson getting across the finish line in first place. We apologize for that, folks, as that was a fantastic race, as we expected from this field. We'll get the official time for you here momentarily, but I believe that was Miss Lawson that crossed the finish line first. As we turn our focus over to the boys 110-meter hurdles in the 5A boys division. And just looking at that field, Jed, is there anyone in particular that should stand out? I think I'm looking at one young man that's running out of lane 4 who might make a little bit of noise here for this race.
Out of Corsicana, Jashawn Lloyd. Someone to watch, of course. Corsicana, those great uniforms. One of my favorite, obviously, at track meet. Looks like we have someone down here on the track.
No, hopefully she's okay.
Yeah, by the finish line. She didn't carry it off by one of her coaches.
Yeah.
Really hope she's okay.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, I think that's, you see a lot of competition, and just everybody that's been competing here is so incredibly highly competitive. You may accidentally see some of those people kind of run into each other. They may trip, they may fall, and it's so unfortunate to see at this point of the season. That
happens a lot at the end of these hurdles. That happens all the time. Competitiveness, and sometimes they'll dig their spike a little too far into the track, and that will just cause them just to eat it, fall forward, and cause all kinds of problems. But I didn't think anyone fell down at the end of that race, though.
No, I think it may have just kind of been a little tweak, or something.
Went lightheaded, something. Trainers are checking her right now. I think she'll be okay. Coach Proctor
we have a fantastic training staff that's been doing such an amazing job today, from start to finish, really taking care of these athletes. And
very good. Coach Proctor definitely to be trusted.
Absolutely,
it's awesome.
With that beard, you have to. As one bearded man to another bearded man, I gave him dap for how his beard's looking. It's looking really strong.
Coach Proctor's awesome. Super reserved guy. He's funny. Has good one-liners.
He's got those classic Oklahoma State humor. That's what I like to call it.
And he went to J.J. Pierce, too. And he played under Coach Hickman when he was Coach Hickman was at Pierce.
Yeah, that's something I didn't actually know.
Yeah, he was telling me about that one time during football practice.
Oh, that's fantastic. And so the 5A racers are at the blocks, and they are ready to rock and roll here to start this race off. Again, 110-meter hurdles for the boys. They had to move the hurdles around. Again, watch lane 4 from Corsicana. He had a 300 earlier today. Just looks incredibly graceful on that event. Off the block, have a false start. We'll reset and do it again. So, yeah, Kalani Lawson with the win. What was the time on that, Jet? What was her final time?
It's 13.65.
So 13.65.
Second one was 13.76. Third place was 13.78. So all fairly close in 1
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely going to happen in a 100-meter run, right?
Especially in the finals.
Incredibly highly competitive.
The finals is awesome because it limits out all those whatever different times in the prelims, and in the finals you really have those competitive athletes and those just great times, and it's always just so much fun to watch at the end of the day, all the finals.
As we get everybody reset on the blocks, let's see, I believe I see all the competitors except I believe there may have been a red card assessed there. We'll have to confirm that. I believe it was, just from looking at it from here, I believe it was lane 2.
You see someone missing? Yeah. I think you're right. I don't think I see someone in lane 2.
The gun is up. Racers are ready. Off they go in the 110. First hurdle looking strong. Lloyd off the block.
Wow.
Look at this. Absolutely incredible.
Look at
off the
form.
block. He is moving. And Jashawn Lloyd makes it a clinic.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh! His block start and that form getting over those hurdles was phenomenal. Wow.
I mean, off the first block, you could tell it was over. And that was just unbelievable performance by that young man. And wow, okay. Well, and folks, if you think that was impressive, wait till you see him do the 300. I think it was just about as clean. I mean, from a form standpoint, I don't think you can ask for anything more.
Lloyd can run. This kid can run. Look at him celebrating.
Oh, fantastic job
Wow.
by Deshaun Lloyd, a senior out of Corsicana. And, I mean, I'll tell you, folks, keep an eye out for him. I have a feeling he's going to be competing at the next level based off of what we just saw there.
I think so. I think that's a fair statement to make. Wow.
Yeah, as we quickly take a look back and see what's happening over at the award podium. Again, we're recognizing the 100-meter hurdles winners, the top three finishers. Christian Coleman, freshman out of Duncanville, 13.78. Edging her by 2/100ths of a second from Sunnyvale, Chiora Aena Okegbo, and then Kalani Lawson, 13.65, picks up the win. We're joined by the one and only Killian Applegate, making sure, keeping us in check in here, making sure we get his stamp of approval. He looks relatively happy, so I'll take that as an advantage. I think we're doing okay. He would let us know. And, I mean, it's kind of incredible the fact that we're able to have Deshaun Lloyd actually, you know, be still for enough where we can actually recognize him instead of being the fastest man on the turf so far today. Just unbelievable run by that young man.
Yes.
Let's see. I mean, that wouldn't even surprise me if that threatened to meet record. 13:38 was his final time. Just an unbelievable run by him.
13:38.
As we look quickly over at the 110-meter hurdles for the 6A division, we have Richardson, Wiley East, Berkner, Allen, Plano East, Elis Trinity, and Prosper as these runners will get ready, and they will head to it. Looks like it's Allen in front to kick it off.
Yep.
Allen looking strong, but this is going to be way too close to call. It's looking like it's going to be the Eagles again, barely edging it out. It's the two Allen Eagles side by side, Jace Johnson, Julius Baker. We're going to have to wait to see that one.
Yeah.
That was definitely way too close.
Wonder he'll get those team bragging rights after this one and in practice.
I know. I'll tell you, if I'm competing in 5-6A, I'm a I'm looking at those two competitors, and I'm like, oh, my goodness, we're going to have to get past those guys. Okay.
Uh-oh. Their district will be hard.
Now, this is actually the first of two meets we're going to host here at Ranger Stadium, as Jesuit will actually host the 7-6A championships in a few weeks. Always a really fun event to see the teams from our district compete together here for the right to go to the area round. And so as we get ready for the 100-meter dash, we'll step aside here for a moment. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Jesuit-Sheaner Relays. And welcome back, folks, as we are set for the 100-meter dash in the girls' division. We have from McKinney North at the top is going to be Ryan Balus, Liana Wright in lane 2, Sunmi Adkeyei in lane 3, Ava Ellaby in lane 4, Zaria Bernard in lane 5, Duncanville in lane 6, Oluwasium Osanedu in lane 7, and from Lebanon Trail, Lauren Foxworth in lane number 8. Looking at these times, I mean, obviously the 100-meter dash is just, it's complete, just dead sprint, move right ahead. You're going to see a really, really close field. But you look at it, 11:55 is the top seed. Lowest seed's in 11:89. The wind was not blowing at that point during the day, though. And so, I mean, you never really know, especially how these girls race and run, how that wind is going to help propel them. And especially, I'm not really even sure if it's more effective on the outer edges of the lanes than it is on the inside. This may end up being a very, very close race.
All right, in the box right now.
Here we go, ready to rock and roll. Another exciting showdown here. Very even off the first quarter. Little breakaway here at the end. Racing forward, heading towards the finish line. And that's a clean win. Let's see if we can double check here on the jersey number. That's going to be from Colleyville Heritage, Jordan Tuttle. Excuse me, that's the 110-meter relays. From Frisco Heritage, Sunmi Adkeyei is the winner of the girls' 100-meter dash event. When you say things with confidence, Jen.
It's all right.
It's okay. No, I saw Heritage and I went for it. But
I saw you on the sheet.
Sunmi Adkeyei from Frisco Heritage, she came in as the third-seeded qualifier with an 11:70, and we'll get that official time here momentarily. But still, I mean, we talked about that, just how closely compacted those top three finishers were. And that race kind of came as advertised once again. The record coming in was 11:46, set last year by North Crowley's India Mayberry.
North Crowley, 6A state football champs.
Yeah, well, was that the first in program history? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I apologize if I did get that wrong. But
for North Crowley?
For North Crowley. But, I mean, unbelievable game.
I mean, that whole season, unbelievable. Just showed up on the map, took care of business. I mean, you really have to think their coaching staff has to be phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, too, just
across the board.
Development from top to bottom, right? And you see a lot of that speed transition from what you see in football to here at track. I was going through some old records, and we were typing in old champions, and then the one name that came to me that it just kind of immediately snapped was, Caden Durham won the 100-meter dash here a couple of years ago, and it's like, oh wow, what a massive standout for the Duncanville Panthers.
This is gonna be a really exciting race. We're gonna see some crazy times right here. This is the 5A boys 100-meter dash. Got a couple Frisco schools here.
In Newman Smith. Top seed coming in is Tyler Madison from Timberview at a 10:58.
Again with the Timberview athletes. They're really taking
the T-Wolves, man.
Right now.
Good speed off the block. Good clean start. Timberview and Newman Smith duking it out. All of a sudden from Timberview, here comes Madison. It's going to be close between Madison and Williams. Too close to call, I think, from our end. Yeah, we'll double check that number again. We're kind of waiting to see the results. We're keeping an eye on it. Typically, sometimes what we've seen from Mile Splits, they'll actually have live, but there's been like a server maintenance issue where we have to wait for the events to be finalized on our end in order to provide you with those final results. We can tell you that, ready for this, the girls' 100-meter dash was not only a personal best and a meet record time for Sunmi Adkeyei. It's also one of the top 10 times in the nation this season.
Wow.
11:32, her time in the 100-meter dash, followed very closely behind, a 1/10 behind, Zaria Bernard, who was a freshman from Red Oak. She ran on 11:42 to finish. A freshman. To clock in, and that would have been a meet record if she won that race.
A freshman is crazy,
and that's unbelievable. Wow. So Zaria Bernard, folks, keep an eye out for that name.
What an athlete, especially the freshmen. Wow.
And so, I mean, coming into this meet, you look at the meet record from the girls' division, it was 11:46. And so you look at the top three finishers, the top three times, 11:32 by far the record, 11:42, 11:49 were the third and fourth place finishes, separated by 0.02 of a second. Ryan Bellows edging Ava Ellaby for the bronze medal.
Right here coming up, 6A 100-meter.
Oh, here we go.
Division.
Matthew Maldima coming from Coppell on lane 1. You have Cole Coppedge in lane 2 from Hebron. Andrew Casagrande, lane 3 from J.J. Pierce. Dion Mays from Arlington in lane 4. Jaden Finley from Duncanville, lane 5. Caleb Smith from Allen, lane 6. The Rangers, Harlan Buechler in lane 7. And Malachi Terry in lane number 8. They're in the blocks. They're ready to go. Keep an eye out. Lane 3, Casagrande. Lane 4, Mays, along with Finley from Duncanville. Those are your three leaders in the clubhouse coming into this race.
And Ranger Harlan Buechler.
Absolutely. Never count out Buechler. But off the block, it's going to be a great start. Casagrande duking it out with Duncanville. It looks like Casagrande's going to get it, but on the edge at the very end.
Did he get him?
Ooh, I think he may have gotten him there at the very end. That may have been Malachi Terry or Maldima.
Casagrande acting like he just won, but I don't know. We don't know.
That was incredibly close.
I really thought Harlan could place right there, like especially at the 50-meter line. Harlan was there. I think that Casagrande start was phenomenal.
Unbelievable start by that young man. Casagrande coming in.
Exactly.
I'm not mistaken. Was he the running back, wide receiver?
It was the whole team.
Yeah, that's right. He's the whole team for Pearson.
Play
He
defense.
got the win, and it looks like by everybody's reaction, and I think it's unbelievably close.
This kid has had a really good senior year.
And it looks like it was Casagrande that got the win there. Let's talk about the 5A results really quick. Zion Isaiah Raheem Williams from Newman Smith. Ready for this? 1/100th of a second was the win.
Wow.
He barely edged Tyler Madison, who ran a 10:29. Got him with a 10:28.
10:28.
Unbelievable races so far
really
today.
Good times.
I mean,
I know it's
we're barely
Yeah.
we're 3 results in, and I mean we are just, I think that they don't realize it costs money for us to update the record board for Sheaner. Like we don't need to be able to do it all in the same year. We can spread it out a little bit, guys. Come on. But no, some unbelievable times here so far, and it's been an incredibly competitive race. This is what happens when you get the best in Texas to all compete at the same time. Andrew Casagrande, how about this? This involves almost 4-mile-per-hour winds, so we'll see how much of this would stick. 6 of the 8 competitors in that last race would have set a meet record in the 100-meter dash, all the way down to the 6th-place finisher, Cole Coppedge, who ran a 10:28, all the way up to Andrew Casagrande, who won the event with a 10:08 was his time, followed by Matthew Maldima, who almost got him at the end, finishing 10:11, 10:08.
Wow.
Your final time. Again, with the wind.
I know there is wind, but even without
Even
wind,
then, that's
still,
unbelievable.
That's unbelievable.
The 6A record, ready for this? There was a 3-way tie that dates all the way back to 1991, 10:32. And that was absolutely blasted away by these competitors today. And it's just unbelievable stuff so far that we're seeing.
Wow.
And some really good racing. Looking at the rest of the leaderboard, Dion Mays finished 3rd with a 10:20. Jaden Finley with a 10:21 from Duncanville. Jesuits Harlan Buechler with a 10:25. And Cole Coppedge
Good for Harlan, man.
with a 10:28. Even from a Jesuit Dallas standpoint, that may even flirt with a potential record that was set by Hunter Krepp a few years ago.
Yeah, Harlan's having a day, and he's thinking about Harlan, only a junior. Still has another year of training.
So again, if that time does stand, and that's the big question, given all this stuff, that would actually also be a school record. That would be Harlan's 2nd school record of the day, because the record coming in was a 10:46 run by Hunter Krepp in 2022.
But let's talk a little bit more about the starts on that last 6A race. I thought Casagrande, his blocks are phenomenal. I mean, you can really tell he's been working on those blocks nonstop in practice. I mean, those first 10, 15 meters, extremely important because sometimes out of the blocks, you will feel like you're just staying in one spot, but you're going forward. That's just because you're not getting out of the blocks quick enough and at a certain angle. You really have to push the blocks out from behind you, and you want them to almost feel like they're going to move, but they're not. Think about Casagrande. he does all of it. He's definitely as a good coach. He's been practicing on it forever. But that first 20 to 30 meters of Casa Grande's race was awesome to watch. And then of course he has the top end speed to bring it out.
I mean, how much fun has this race, has this whole meet been so far? And we've really been seeing it throughout the day. And you're here, a big ovation from the J.J. Pierce fans. They're right in front of us here on the sideline. And Casa Grande with an unbelievable performance, securing the gold medal.
I think some of his family right here cheering pretty loud for Casa Grande.
And with that, we're going to turn our attention to the next event, which is the 4x2 relay. And then this is going to be a great race again. 4x2 in the girls' division. See the lane assignments there on your screen. Lovejoy in 1, Wiley East in 2, Lake Ridge in 3, Allen in 4, Red Oak in 5, North in 6, Northwest in 7, and Trinity in 8. And so this is this will be the one girls 4x2, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of 4x2s in the 5 and 6 combined 5 and 6A divisions. So hold on tight, folks. We're about to see some really good relay action here this afternoon.
This 4x2 is going to. Are we muted?
No.
Okay.
So the 4x2, I think we're looking at probably some more solid times here, especially in all divisions.
Yes. The 4x2, the wind is really going to be a problem and a bonus too at the same time, because sometimes you'll be having it in your back and then you're running straight into it on this 4x2. Especially, it feels like when you're running on the 4x2 and it's windy, you feel like the curve. I got it. There's no wind. And then right out of the curve, on that straightaway, if you're running into the wind, that'll be really challenging to do. And then you still have to worry about your handoffs at the end. You can't mess up those handoffs in the 4x2. 4x2 handoffs are also very different from a 4x1 handoff, because you can't take off as quick as you do in a 4x1 handoff. Because if you do, you will just leave your fellow teammate just stranded, because he's going to be tired after going all out for that 200 meters, and he'll have a hard time catching up to you. So you really have to practice those handoffs and get them perfect before you run these races.
As the racers are heading towards the blocks, getting ready for this race, I want to give you a quick rundown of the team once again. I'm Brian Montgomery. Next to me is Chet Kipnis, also in the booth today. Carson Long, Sutton Wall, Gianni Gutierrez, all members of the broadcast announcing team here at Jesuit. As the 4x2 is underway, again, you're going to see the exchanges at essentially the corners of the track after each turn.
That curve looked really good.
So that first turn
girls
coming in, everybody racing in really well. Looking solid thus far. As the first exchange being captured and made safely by each team. We have a good first switch off.
Is that Trinity still in the front?
No, I believe that might actually be Allen.
That's Allen. Okay.
And we'll see the numbers here a little bit clearer, folks, when they come right in front of us here in the.
That's when we'll start to even out.
On our side of the booth. It's going to be Red Oak.
Oh, Red Oak. Really good fight.
Justin, Northwest, Allen. Those are your top three as they head into
good handoffs by all.
A fantastic
all
exchange.
All those teams. Very good.
As this is the anchor leg here coming around the edge. We're going to see a good final few hundred meters here of this race. As it looks like Allen and I believe Northwest are duking it out. Allen's trying to hold them off, and it looks like they will.
Yeah.
Barely. off a really good challenge.
That wind looks rough.
So 138.06 is the final score. The final time, excuse me, I believe. And then let's double check on that one. I believe that it was Allen. And we'll see as the final result comes in. But with that, we move on to the 6 sections of the 4x2. We're going to open it up with a 3-lane participation from Richardson, Willis, and Gordon. And then I think, Jet, from a racing perspective, is it more or less effective when you're in a race that does not have a full slate to it, when you're competing not against a full group of participants?
It's honestly the weirdest feeling running in a race when there's 2 lanes empty right next to you. A full race, it's definitely more ideal as an athlete because it's just strange. It's almost like, are you just running a practice relay? Mm-hmm. Instead of a real competitive relay? It's very different. I feel like most of these athletes would rather prefer a full slated 8-lane race.
And so the final results are in. Red Oak picked up the win 138.06, followed by Allen in second 138.26. Finishing in third in the girls 4x2 was Mansfield Lake Ridge at a 139.41. And so we get ready in the blocks for the first of 6 sections of the 4x2.
All right, race has started.
And it looks like we even have a scratch, so only 2 participants in this race.
That is a very strange feeling.
As that's Gordon taking the early lead. Richardson competing as well.
Still Gordon in the lead.
Yeah, Gordon looking strong here as they head to the second exchange.
Good handoff by Gordon.
Here comes Richardson, though.
Richardson.
Here come the Eagles taking over here on the third leg. They need a clean exchange. They got it. And now the Eagles can win this heat after taking it over during the third leg. Pulling away Caden Williams down the stretch. Can he be caught by Braden Walters, the junior from Gordon? Possibly. Walters gaining ground. Here we go.
Wow.
Final 10. Oh, I think Richardson just got it.
Yeah, barely.
But a great race. (133.58) is Richardson, and they pick up the win in this first heat. And with that, we head into the next event, which will be the second section of the 4x2 meter relay combined 5A and 6A division. Frisco Liberty in lane 1, Lake Highlands in lane 2, Marcus in lane 3, Lovejoy in lane 4, Plano West, in lane 5, Mesquite in lane 6, and rounding out the field in lane 7 is going to be Wiley.
All right, heat 2 off. Let's see, who's that? Mesquite in the lead right now. It's kind of hard telling these 4x2s on the first 2 legs who's in the league. Is it just that's how the 4x2 is designed? I'd say probably in the third leg on each of these heats. That's when the race starts to even out and you kind of gets to see who's in front.
And it looks like coming off the second exchange, really strong performance here by Mesquite and West as they head to the final exchange. It's going to be the Skeeters followed by the Wolves heading into the final 2 turns of this race.
It's only 4 teams running. Yeah, it looks like there's 2 teams not participating in this heat that are supposed to. Lake Highlands and Plano West.
No, I think that was, Plano West, and Mesquite's the one that's going to pick up the win. We'll get the unofficial time here momentarily. 1:31:09, I believe that I heard from our fantastic PA announcer, Mr. Kramer. And we head to Heat 3, Centennial in lane 1, Salina lane 2, Wiley East in lane 3, LD Bell in lane 4, McKinney Boyd in 5, Crandall in 6, Capel in 7, and Corsicana in 8.
Got some really far schools in this heat. We got Salina. I guess that's the farthest suburb possible on the tollway. Salina won state this year in 4A D1 football.
Yep.
They have some athletes up there.
Absolutely.
Some kids that can run and play ball, just in general, all across their sports. It's a very fast-growing suburb, too.
And, folks, we know a lot of you are keeping an eye on, you're trying to decide, man, do we want to stick with the Sheaner relays or do we want to see what's happening with March Madness? We'll give you the score update. Arkansas up by 10 on St. John's with 14:38 left. You stay here. And now we're good to go.
That's not good.
And all of the kids here in the press box are concerned.
I need Coach Patino to lock in.
This is see, that's the advantage of age, gentlemen, is after a while, if you've had enough bad brackets, you just kind of get over it.
Yeah, I actually have them in my Final Four.
Yeah, you didn't need to agree that. You didn't need to agree that fast, Jet.
I'm cooked.
First off,
I'm cooked.
Like, Mr. Montgomery, I'm sorry that happened to you. Really hope that you get it together at some point. I'll be like, I appreciate that, Jet. Okay. So Heat 3 of the 4x2. Back and forth we go. Again, we're going to start to see these times speed up as we keep going in this event. Strong off the blocks. Really solid opening run by Capel.
Yeah,
really nice stride from Capel.
Kid took off.
I mean, really, and Coppell always comes in. You always talk about the Duncanvilles, the DeSotos, but Coppell is one of the most consistent track and field programs that I've seen in quite some time. I mean, from top to bottom, everybody is incredibly talented, and you may not have that one or two runners that are just national ranked top 10 guys, but you have some unbelievable talent across the board, and I think we're seeing that even here in this heat.
Every year, solid. It's just, I mean, they might not be the Duncanville or DeSoto, but they have a solid programs and good athletes.
And McKinney Boyd now taking over. I was trying to look. I kept seeing that Bronco, and I just realized the reason I couldn't recognize it is not in the Block M. It's just on its own. It's a sharp look.
Coppell kind of falling back now.
Yeah, McKinney Boyd looking really sharp. I mean, I'll tell you, folks.
Just tearing that curve.
As a Jesuit Dallas Ranger supporter on my end, the fact we're going to have to get past these teams in the area in the regional meet is concerning because we're seeing some incredible Region 1 talent from top to bottom as McKinney Boyd's going to pick up the win in heat number 3 as they run a very solid back half of the race.
That last anchor leg was really good. Coming off that curve was phenomenal by McKinney.
And then here we're just another fun contest to talk about here. I know it's going to make our broadcasters concerned. The Dallas Stars are in overtime against the Philadelphia Flyers.
Dallas.
Philadelphia, that's a team in Pennsylvania, guys. They're on the east side of Pennsylvania. Well known for their history. I believe that National Treasure was filmed there. So
what's that?
That's a movie.
That's a movie?
Yeah, it's a Nicolas Cage movie.
Oh, I know who that is.
You can educate yourself on a little bit of American history by watching National Treasure.
Thanks.
And just as I say that, the one and only Gianni Gutierrez immediately pulls up the Flyers Stars game on his phone. Fastest fingers of Jesuit right there. Just speedy. Ready to rock and roll.
Love it, Gio.
So we head to heat number 4. South Grand Prairie in lane 1, Emerson lane 2, Mansfield lane 3. Newman Smith lane 4, Colleen Ellison lane 5, North Garland lane 6, Sam Houston lane 7, Bowie in lane 8. Ellison, Newman Smith, 4-5. Watch out for those two teams that are in. They're going to be, Colleen's going to be in kind of a neon green color. Newman Smith is going to have nice bright green trunks.
And I'm just going to list off the 3 top times out of the men's 4x2 relays. McKinney Boyd, of course, with that first at 128.12. Very good race. Number 2, Crandall Pirates with the 128.47. And then Frisco Centennial, 129.14. I think McKinney Boyd can probably still place. But Frisco Centennial, that time can definitely drop out if these teams run better times. So right now we are on the 4th heat for the men's 4x2 combined 6A, 5A. Some teams to watch out here. I
think for me it's Colleen and Newman heading into this heat for sure.
Yeah, we should have 2 Arlington Arlington, Houston, and Arlington Bowie.
Yeah, so Sam Houston and Bowie, I mean, definitely, again, they can definitely do some damage. I think the ones you're looking forward to most from Arlington's side would be a Martin, and we're seeing Arlington Martin later on. Arlington High, always really dangerous. But typically when you have time finals like that, your top 8, you're looking at lanes 4 or 5 across all heats because they're going to branch them out across, and you typically know that that's going to be your top competitors. And that is where Ellison and Smith are residing. Mansfield as well. Interesting, they have a freshman on the opening leg, Jason Wade. Seeing what he can do on his first leg as we're underway with this next heat. Good start by all teams. Nice, strong, competitive. Sam Houston looks to be opening up an early lead here in this first leg. You have Colleen Ellison along with North Garland battling it out. Sam Houston's got the good exchange. Off they go. The Volunteers with an early lead in this section.
Go Vols.
Bowie they make the blue and orange look really sharp. It's a really sharp looking track uniform.
Different color scheme too.
Yeah, just like the Syracuse orange. As the next exchange, looks like the lead is now drifting in favor of, I believe, We'll check on the turn. I think it might be Mansfield.
Yeah, it's a really good leg right now. This kid's running on that curve. Wow, he's passing on to
Yeah, Ellison and Newman Smith are starting to duke it out here.
Newman Smith.
Yeah, I think Newman Smith's taking the lead here heading in this final exchange.
And Ellison.
Yeah, so it's going to be the Trojans. Close behind are the Eagles, and they're going to fight it out here over the final 200 meters. Sam Houston right back in it too, but now it looks like that the Trojans are going to be pulling away. Newman Smith getting some ground. This may end up being a really key time in this race as the Trojans are pulling away. They're going to cross the finish line under 130 and take this heat.
I actually noticed on the second to last leg of the Trojans relay, he was adjusting his baton during the main straightaway, and that usually causes some issues. Because if you're trying to fix it, whatever, messing with it mid-race because you're not really focused on your running. But I guess that didn't really affect the time or them placing to get first in this heat. I mean, that's kind of impressive. I mean, he kind of was just fiddling with it right in front of our face at like the 50-yard line on the track. But it didn't affect the time or the last anchor leg.
And so now we turn our attention to the next heat. 8 participants. In lane 1 will be Trinity. Lane 2 will be Byron Nelson. Lane 3 is Jesuit Dallas. Lane
Rangers.
4 is Lake Ridge. We're not an impartial broadcast here. Lane 5 is McKinney North. Lane 6 is Berkner. Lane 7, Prosper. Lane 8 is Mansfield Timberview. For those that may be tuning in to see how the Rangers are doing, the lineup for your 4x2 is John Keaton Parrish leading it off, followed by Jesse Jenkins, Chase Brown, and then Henry Beret wrapping it up for the final 200.
Something to watch on Dallas Jesuits 4x2 is their first and their last leg. John Keaton Parrish, his blocks is getting better and better each meet. He also was he's a two-sport athlete. He was a very good corner this year. He got thrown in the fire, a bunch of injuries, and he really played very well against some really good competition. But track is his thing. John Keaton works really hard in practice. He's one of my good buddies, and you can tell he really wants this. Bad. And then the last leg, Henry Beret, our anchor, he was our starting running back this year for the Jesuit Rangers football team. Very hard worker. He's stuck through it, all the practices, all those workouts. And
as the race is now underway on the first turn, you mentioned the fantastic block breakout. Let's see if that ends up paying dividends for the Rangers. As Parrish is looking strong, let's see what the matchup is here off the baton handoff. It looks like the
good handoff for the Rangers.
Yes, the lead might be going to Lake Ridge to start this one off. Yeah, Timberview kind of taking the lead over here. Prosper in second. McKinney North is right in there, too. A good handoff to Chase Brown for Jesuit.
Very good handoff.
After a very strong second leg by Jesse Jenkins.
Eat that curve up, Chase.
Chase really attacking that curve. But looking at the leaders in the clubhouse, looks to be Timberview, McKinney North, and Lake Ridge. Some incredible competition here at the end. This might be a duke out between North and Lake Ridge here at the end. As Beret gets the baton for the 4x2, but here come Lake Ridge,
and
McKinney
really
North.
Right
unbelievable breakout down the stretch. Let's see what the Dogs can do here. Trying to chase down the Eagles over the final few meters. They will not. It's going to be Mansfield Lake Ridge. They crossed the finish line in first place, and that's the 5th of 6 heats here in this event. And I mean, just even really quickly looking at what we have coming up here, Jet, this one's going to be really, really fun. Let's break down the final heat of the 4x2. Lane 1 is Allen. Lane 2 is Martin. Lane 3 is Broken Arrow High School. Lane 4 is Duncanville. Lane 5 is Red Oak. Lane 6 is DeSoto. Lane 7 is Aubrey. Lane 8 is VR Eaton. This is going to be a blazing relay race.
To watch. I mean, what do you think? What, 2 of these teams go to state for the 4x1? Probably
easy.
DeSoto, Duncanville.
Yeah, that's easy to pick up.
Red Oak's 5A, right?
Yes.
Red Oak always has good athletes, too. That's an up-and-coming suburb, too, that has our football team's getting better and better, and track. Good athletes coming out of Red Oak. And, of course, Allen, your Allen Eagles, always good all around in every sports. This is going to be a super exciting heat to watch.
Yeah, this is going to be fantastic.
That last leg and that last exchange for this heat is going to be extremely important. And that last curve on this heat is really going to determine how much work the athletes are going to have to do on this straightaway right here.
And they are underway here to start this final heat of the 4x2.
Really good start by DeSoto right here. Red Oak running well. Duncanville running good as usual. Duncanville always has the best uniforms. They always have like 5 different alternates. It's really cool to see.
And a good exchange.
Looks like Allen had an injury on that first leg that kind of prevented them from.
Yeah, good start, though. Still maintaining a strong stride here down the first leg. DeSoto starting to chase down the leader in the clubhouse. Again, it's going to come down to these key exchanges. How are they able to hand off the batons? That was a fantastic handoff by Duncanville.
Duncanville was eating
the Panthers are right back in it. An unbelievable second exchange puts Duncanville right back into it. As it's Duncanville and Eaton now battling it out. Red Oak and DeSoto are in the equation as well. It's going to come down to the final 200. Good exchange.
Oh, baton dropped
by Duncanville.
Duncanville dropped the baton.
So now the door is wide open for Eaton. They barely lost it really quick. Now they're right back in it. Coming around the corner, though, was Broken Arrow.
Wow.
Broken Arrow trying to get it.
DeSoto trying to get in third place.
Here
right
comes
now.
Red Oak.
Red Oak.
Red Oak with the
Wow.
pass by.
And he turns his head to look back.
And what a unbelievable final 200.
What a crazy last
What
heat.
a wild final
Wow.
200 in that race.
You see that stare down at the end by Red Oak?
You had the drop baton and then just an unbelievable chase down.
I was not.
Red Oak.
I was not expecting that drop baton right here on that last curve. That kid ran a really.
The exchange looked a little bit like the run started a little bit late, and they were trying to catch up.
But I thought they were going to get it off. Didn't it look like they were going to get it off, and it was going to be a decent handoff?
Hey, but once again, rather that you never want to have that happen at all. Like we want to make sure that we don't, but you rather do that in mid-March than do that in early mid-April, right?
Exactly.
Like, so it's a great learning opportunity. It's a good opportunity for these guys to really have that happen against high-caliber competition. And, wow, what an unbelievable race across the board. And with that, we're going to take a quick break, come back. Our next event will be the 400-meter dash in the girls' division. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to the Jesuit-Sheaner Relays on JRSN. And welcome back, folks, as we get ready for the girls' 400-meter dash. From top to bottom, lane 1, LaShonda Reeves from Keller Timber Creek. Lane 2 is from Duncanville, Reagan Evans. Lane 3 from Rock Hill is Kennedy Thompson. Lane 4 from Byron Nelson, Skylar Brazel. Lane 5 from Newman Smith, Jayla Robinson. Lane 6 from Longview, Denicia Johnson. Lane 7 from Broken Arrow is Victoria Porter. And lane 8 from Burleson is Kara Evans, as we are underway with the girls' 400-meter dash. Let's see here on the first turn, see who's picking up the lead heading down the stretch. It looks to be Kara Evans from Burleson. As they come around the final edge, here come the leaders. Very close race. Looks to be Jayla Robinson, who's going to pick up the win, wearing the number 5 hip sticker. A fantastic race by that young woman. She's going to earn the win and get the victory here at the Jesuit-Sheaner Relays. We'll get that official time for you here in a moment. But that was a victory for Jayla Robinson in the 400-meter dash. Her final time, 55:31. Denucio Johnson closing out with a 55:80 to finish in second. Kennedy Thompson finishes in third with a 55:95. We head to the 5A division. Julian Benell is in lane 1 from McKinney North, excuse me. David Oliei from Frisco Emerson is in lane 2. Lane 3 from Mansfield Summit is going to be Eduardo Estrada. In lane 4 from Mesquite Petite is Niall Rivers. Lane 5 from McKinney North is Kaylin Tyler. Lane 6 from McKinney North is Kavian Blackwood. Lane 7 from Frisco Liberty is Tennyson Byrne. And in lane 8 from Lucas Lovejoy is Leandro Torres. And a good race here to start this one off. About at the midway point, making the turn. Here come the racers down the stretch. I believe that is Niall Rivers duking it out with Kaylin Tyler. And it looks like Rivers is going to hang on down the stretch as he heads to the finish line. He will do so and win this event as the rest of the racers finish. But that's a win for Niall Rivers of Mesquite Petite as he secures the victory, holding off to Kaylin Tyler down the stretch for the win.
What is happening? Big shame in my own house.
As we continue with the 6A 400-meter dash, Royce City's Aldrich Evans in lane 1. Isaiah Boutte from Plano West in lane 2. Cameron Harry from Sac City in lane 3. Brody Pitt from Broken Arrow in 4. Plano West, Jaden Haynes in 5. In lane 6 from Boyd, Santiago Garzon. In lane 7 from Cedar Hill is Roderick Ghostin. In lane 8 from Marcus is Chinazor Kaz Agpala. As this 5A is underway. Opening up the lead, and this one is Marcus's Chinazor Kazakpala. Yes, he's looking strong heading into this final turn. Again, the 4 dash one of the key races here at the very end. Let's see who's coming off of the final turn. It's looking strong here. Brody Pitt coming on strong, closing the gap. And looking like he's going to pick up the win, and he will. That is a win, for Jaden Haynes. We couldn't really tell the difference between the 4 and the 5 from up here. But that is Plano West. Jaden Hines, he gives a really good dap up to Chinazor Cause Apollo. They'll see each other in the area matchup, track meet. And that was a fantastic run by that young man as well. He wins the 400, looking quickly at the 400 meter dash in the 5A division. Nile Rivers won with a 50.08. DeKalen Tyler with a 50.68. He secures the win there. We'll wait for a moment to see what happens in the 6A. But as we get set here for our next event, which is the 300 meter hurdles. As we're getting ready for the next event, which is the 300 meter hurdles. You see the start over here on this end of the field, the northwest side of our stadium.
On this one.
And yeah, excuse me, Jet, if you want to go ahead and run down the 300 meter hurdles, what is our lineup for this event?
Someone to look at right now that ran a 41.80 from Sunnyvale.
Yeah, that's going to be Chinora Enye Okegbu. And she's coming in as a junior in this event. Really, I mean, the really impressive thing that we've seen is just a lot of youth, really across the board. We've been talking multiple times about the freshmen that are showing up, making key contributions to their relay teams as they're in the blocks ready to go. And the 300 meter hurdles is underway. Clean start. A little bit less of that intensity we see during the 100 meter hurdles coming into play here. And we'll see who's going to emerge down the stretch.
The wind looks to be pretty rough right here on that curve.
You see the top two runners there coming down.
Is that Sunnyvale?
I believe that's Sunnyvale. And Yeo Okegbo is going to be taking the lead. She hits the final hurdle, crosses the finish line with the win.
That's very impressive.
Unbelievable time. Yeah, we knew coming in that she was going to be a key role player in this event, specifically in this race. And again, as advertised, just a sensational race. And with that, we head over to the 5A boys hurdles. And again, we talked about him before, Jet. This is Jashawn Lloyd. Lane 4, buckle up, folks.
Get to see this kid again.
Yeah, you can see him on the stream right now, just on the left edge of your screen, wearing the pink headband in lane 4. And he's the one that we talked about, had a super clean move, super clean stride during the 100. And we saw it again during the 300, just unbelievably clean the way that he attacks the hurdles.
It's going to be very fun to watch. It's just great. His form is phenomenal. I haven't seen form like that in a really long time. Obviously, looks like he's practiced his form nonstop in practice, and now we get to see him in the 300-meter hurdles after the 110 hurdles.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a pretty lofty goal to follow up there after, what was just an unbelievable run in the 100. But everything we've seen so far from him would indicate that we're about to see something incredible from the 3 as well. As this 5A race is about to start. Everyone good off the blocks.
Watch the pink headband.
Yep, and right off the bat, Lloyd already has a considerable lead.
Barely picks up
and
his
he's
leg.
going to continue to move past the competitors, and now we're going to see him really crank it up here over the final turn. Lloyd clears another hurdle. Here he comes off the turn, and he's going to start to really put this one away. Gets another clean hurdle. He's going to be ahead by at least 10 yards, if not more, from the field. You can see here on the final long shot of this field, it's Lloyd's show, and we're just living in it as he picks up the win and adds the sweep of the hurdle events.
Wow.
He picks up the win in the 300-meter hurdles. Jesuits all-region basketball player Caleb Steger there at the top of your screen to keep an eye on it, along with some other members of the Jesuit Dallas community, to see just an unbelievable performance from this young man from Corsicana. As we saw in the prelims, he kept that reputation going in the finals to Sean Lloyd.
His form is so perfect on those hurdles. He barely picks up his leg, and it's about like what do you think, 2 or 3 inches from his foot to that hurdle?
I mean, maybe, if that. Now, let's take a look. Let's see if we can pull a quick shot here. Yeah, we will. We'll show you this replay just to show you how clean this is. Look at the way that he just moves over the hurdles, and it's like not even affecting him. Just unbelievably clean. How easy he's able to make his way over the hurdles.
He didn't hit any hurdles in the 110. He didn't hit any hurdles in the 300 too.
And again, a senior. I mean, it would not surprise me in the least if we see him compete in some capacity in track and field in the future.
Yeah.
And he's actually headed to Texas State. We just did the quick little Google.
Wow,
so he's a D1 track and field student athlete.
Texas State has a really good track and field program down in San Marcos. It's really an up-and-coming athletic program in general. Their football keeps getting better and better. They have a good staff. It's a fun school, good, big state school. This kid can really take his career to the next level down in Texas State. I mean, that's really impressive what we just watched.
And so we head to the 6A 300-meter hurdles. Philip Reed in lane 1. Jaden Young, in lane 2. I've been talking all day. I apologize. Allen has Jace Johnson in lane 3. Malachi Hayward in lane 4 from Byron Nelson. Ashton Fletcher in lane 5 from Prosper. From Princeton, Kingston Williams in lane 6. Markeith Fleming in lane 7 from Roy City. And from Lake Ridge, we have Jaden Evans in lane number 8. Just what a fun event. I mean, we're kind of coming down to the final stages here. We're going to wrap up. We have the 200 coming up and then after that, I believe, we're going to have the 200-meter dashes next, followed by the 1,600-meter run. Then we wrap it up with the 4x4. And just this meet so far, I'll be excited to kind of look at the meet-ending triage to just see how many records have fallen so far today. This just off the cuff has seemed to me like one of the fastest meets that we've seen in recent times. And it's just been fantastic to see from top to bottom. as we get ready for the 6A 300-meter hurdle event. Score update. St. John's has closed the gap. They're down by 4.
Good. Coach Patino.
I think the Jets' motivation found its way out to that game.
You better.
Good, clean moves off of the hurdles from our 6A field. As we'll kind of see where they're sitting here towards the tail end. I believe that was Malachi Hayward. We'll double check and see here at the end of the turn as they do a fantastic job of clearing one of those final hurdles. Wiley East Jaden Young is taking the lead down the stretch. He's being chased by multiple fellow members of this race, but it looks like he might be able to hold him off as it's going to come down to the final
really close
few feet. I think he may have gotten it, though. We'll wait for the unofficial word here from our PA booth. They got a direct line into the timer. .38.51, the unofficial time for Jaden Young. Sounds like he held him off. And you can tell he put his all into that race. He gets a really good job from
good ending
from Deshaun Lloyd, the 5A winner. Congratulates the 6A winner. And then we're heading back over to the southwest part of the field as we get ready for the girls' 200-meter dash. Our PA announcer, James Kramer, is doing a great job of just explaining the historic intensity of this meet. And really, if you succeed at the Sheaner Relays and you have a good performance at the Sheaner Relays, all of a sudden you're not only on the radar for a potential state and even national level of recognition, but it's almost expected at that point because they know how good those that do well at the Sheaner Relays typically are. And I think that this year's meet has definitely met those expectations.
I think year after year, these Sheaner Relays kind of just produce state champions later. And when the state, is it in May?
Yeah, it's about middle of May.
Yeah.
Typically I believe the week after Mother's Day is typically when it is. And, I mean, it's pretty much for a lot of these teams, it's the Sheaner Relays, the Texas Relays, postseason. That's kind of that's your 3 steps. So this is really – the Sheaner Relays is when the season's perspective starts to shift from, hey, let's get into the groove to, hey, it's time to lock in.
It's more that postseason feel.
And this is really the first meet where you really feel that. And I think we've felt that definitely today because, again, we talked about this before. It would not surprise us in the least if we see a lot of these matchups again at UT in a couple of months. I mean, I think we'll end up seeing a lot of these showdowns occur once again. Duncanville, DeSoto. It would not surprise me at all if we see just Deshaun Lloyd competing in the 100 and 300-meter hurdles. Lukenhouse is probably going to be running around the track and out of the building by the time that the rest of the field finishes at the 800 at State.
He's fun to watch.
And, I mean, and we're going to see a young man here in a little bit in the 200-meter run, Jonathan Sims from Allen, who might be one of the top runners in the nation. And, I mean, it's really this field has continued to be super impressive, and I think that we're kind of seeing that locked down heading into the tail end of this year's Sheaner Relays. I think the big thing, you look at the story of this meet so far, what I would say the story of the meet is hey, welcome to the home stretch. I mean, this definitely feels like a postseason meet right now, which is simply the level of competitiveness that we're seeing here on the field.
Definitely. Speaking of Jonathan Sims, he just mentioned him. 200 meters actually isn't his race. His main race is his 400 meter, even though he's phenomenal at that 200 meter race. He didn't run the 400 meter race today. It's kind of disappointing. We wanted to see him run that 400 just how fun it is to watch him. And I mean, just watching him
unbelievably
take off.
talented.
Those curves, it's like wow. He's tall, he's long, he can just eat it up. Like it's very cool to watch. we'll definitely be seeing him running collegiate track next few
I believe
years.
he's going to Georgia, if I'm
That's
not
where he's
mistaken. I do not quote me on that, but I believe that he's heading to Georgia. Hey, Jack, can you give us a quick rundown of this girls' 200 meter dash? Excuse me.
Okay. In lane 1, we have
That's going to be Zaria Berry out of
Zaria
Arlington Martin.
Corny Purnell, Tsunami.
Yeah, and then we'll see. And we'll see here. We'll run down the rest of the field. Ava Elby and Layla Greer were 4-5, and we're going to see a really fast turn here. They're going to hit that final curve, head down towards the home stretch. Very close field. This might be too close to call. This is a very tight race, especially at the front. And I think at the very end, let's see if we can get the hip number of that young woman who had a great race. I believe that was Sumi Akinyehe, who set the record earlier in the 100-meter dash. I think that was her that got the edge there at the very, very end. Yeah, and that's confirmed. And I think that she was duking it out with Ava Elby, who is, again, a freshman from Lake Ridge.
That's so awesome. Good for her. Being a freshman and running that good of a race. Definitely special.
Give us a quick breakdown for this 5A field, if you don't mind, Jet. Again, some really strong competitors coming in.
Lane 1 out of Sunnyvale, we got Gunnar Bryant. Lane 2, Mansfield Timberview, we got Harvey Scott. And number 3, Tashawn Lloyd out of Corsicana. And then out of Carrollton Smith, Elijah Harrison.
And Tashawn Lloyd, the brother of the hurdler that we saw early. Yeah, just Sean Lloyd's brother. He's also headed to Texas State. They both committed on the same day. Yeah, I believe so. Both committed to the school.
Wow. Athletic twins.
Unbelievable. And and he's coming in at lane 3, so he could possibly do some damage here.
Yeah, and then at lane 5, Jaden Kennedy. Jaden Kennedy out of Keller Fossil Ridge. Lane 6 out of Salina. Maddox McCoy, who related to Colt McCoy.
Is that confirmed?
No, just a very.
You just went for it?
I hope so. I hope he's related. That'd be awesome. It's a strange last name.
Jack Gibness did all of his research for this event.
And out of
fully prepared.
Mesquite Poteet, Niall Rivers, lane 7. Lane 8.
Rivers, the winner in the 100 earlier today, the 100-meter dash champion, and so he can definitely do something here in this event as well.
And then, last but not least, out of lane 8, Kavion Blackwood from McKinney North.
And so another big race coming up here. 5A 200-meter dash. 2 turns and come towards the home stretch as they quickly get up off the blocks. Score update for those of you that are Dallas Stars fans. Scored the overtime game winner in about 7 seconds after one of the most bizarre goalie plays in the history of the National Hockey League. Nothing better than passing to the opposing team in your own zone. That's always a good way to give up a goal. So that's a big-time point there for the Dallas Stars. And update quickly, looking at the score here, our Gianni Gutierrez helping us out. 70-64, Arkansas with the lead. 1:55 left to go in that one. Arkansas trying to pick up a huge win over the 2 seed over in the West region. And we talked about. I will say the Dallas Stars goalie luck is not what I receive as a Buffalo Sabres fan. Since the Sabres had maybe one of the worst plays in NHL history 2 days ago, they gave up a goal on an empty net. They pulled their own goalie. They had a power play coming, so in hockey they were looking at a 6-on-4 advantage. They missed a pass and they scored on their own goal.
Empty goal nets.
Empty goal net. So it's a first. It's a first.
I don't know what's the holdup here.
Yeah, I think just quickly getting everything reset with the timer. Off we go with the 200. Finally, everyone's thinking we can stop talking about hockey and focus on this incredible 5A 200-meter dash. Look at this turn off the curve. Wow. Unbelievable speed off the edge. That is going to be Jaden Kennedy from Keller Fossil Ridge. He's going to put this one away. Unreal run.
That curve was awesome. Wow.
I mean, you saw he just straight up attacked that curve. Like, that was aggressive off the turn.
Wow. Say 20.17?
I believe that was the time, yeah.
Okay.
And we head to the 6A 200-meter dash. Andrew Casagrande in lane 1. Marcus Smith in lane 2 from Lake Ridge. North Garland, Samuel Williams in lane 3. We're going to skip over lane 4 and lane 5 for now. Lane 6 from Saxe is Cameron Harry. Lane 7 from Duncanville, Braden Williams. Lane 8 from Duncanville, Ralph Cullers the 4th. In lane 5 from Allen, Jonathan Sims. We talked about him.
Just talked about
one
him.
of the top runners in the country. And in lane 4, Jesuits' Harlan Buechler, who is entering as the top seed in this event after setting the school record that has not been touched since 1995 in prelims. And so you are going to see an absolute battle on lanes 4 and lane number 5.
And he said it in March, too, of his junior year.
Unbelievable. Wow. Harlan already has the indoor 200-meter record. Was part of the 4x2 team that set the record earlier this year.
And the 4x4
and the 4x4 last year. And now he has the opportunity to square off against one of the top sprinters in the country right after setting a school record, right before. So this is a big-time race, a big-time opportunity here for the young man from Jesuit.
Harlan is in lane 4 again.
Harlan lane 4, Sims lane 5. This is as much of a heavyweight matchup as you're going to get, folks. This one should be entertaining. Off they go. Off the first turn, Sims looks strong.
Come on, Harlan.
Again, this one's going to be super tight down the stretch.
Harlan Buechler
is making the turn.
Come on, Harlan.
Harlan Buechler gets ahead of Sims. He's pulling ahead. Harlan Buechler is going to win the 200 at the Sheaner Relays.
Yeah, Harlan.
Unbelievable run from the junior.
Wow.
Again, just an absolute attack on the turn. Put that one away.
The end of that curve was crazy.
Unreal. Follows up a school record with a win over a nationally ranked sprinter.
Wow. Look at him smiling. He's so excited right now.
And he won with distance, like with room to spare.
Should have kept going. Should have just ran a 400.
Jonathan might have gotten him on the 400.
Maybe.
But let's watch that again, especially coming off the turn here. You can see how quickly Buechler put that one away. He makes the turn. He sees the straightaway, and he just starts to stride into it and pulls away from the pack and put that one out of reach quickly and even sprinted through the finish. I mean, there was no stopping him. He wasn't letting up at all. He wanted to make sure that he slammed the hammer down and got that win. What a huge victory for that young man here at the Jesuit-Sheaner Relays.
Harlan can run, man. Wow.
And so with that, we have the 1,600-meter run coming up in a moment. We're going to take a break, come back, and get ready for our final 2 events here at the Jesuit-Sheaner Relays. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back, folks, as we are set for the final two events of the Jesuit-Sheaner Relays. I'm Brian Montgomery, joined by Jack Kitmus, Gianni Gutierrez, Carson Long, and Sutton Wall. Bringing it down the home stretch as we are set for the 1 mile run. It'll give us a really good opportunity to watch these fantastic athletes, see what they can do in this challenging race, especially. The wind looks to be dying down a little bit, Jet, but not too much. But that'll also give us a really good opportunity to run through some of the results and even talk about some of the field events that we haven't had a chance to talk about from earlier on today, as we've seen a great deal of meet records fall today. It's going to be a record-setting day.
What's next? Is the girls 1600?
Yes, the girls 1600 will be the next event. Off they go.
And this is what, 4 laps?
This will be 4 laps around the track. So our participants will be Maya Easterwood from Coppell, Olivia Spangler from Prosper, Megan Myers from Lake Ridge, Aaron Young from Prosper, Madeline Holland from Liberty Christian, Presley Andrus from Ursuline Academy, Jenna Toppett from Allen Plano's, Kaya Smalley, Alan Celine Garcia from College Station, Ellie Seagreaves, from Colleen Ellison, D'Angeli Dombrowski, from JP2, Abby Spires, Merritt Beckman from Ursuline, Prosper's Taylor Peck, Anastasia Usovich from Centennial, Cheris Henderson from Woodrow Wilson, and Kaylee Hornack from Lucas Lovejoy. Looking at some of the results from earlier today, in the 6A boys long jump, Jamel Ward from Royce City picked up the win. 23.175 is the victorious length for him. Colton Rodriguez won the long jump in the 5A division. Salinas Senior with a 22.25. He bested the field by really not too much. It was a very close back-and-forth matchup between him and Maxim Mingo, a junior from Newman Smith, that finished with a 21.10.75. Triple jump, Markavian Ryder from McKinney North, a junior, secured a 45.6. That was a nice win for him. 46.6 for Ricky Montgomery. Arlington Martin wins by 2 1/4 to secure the win there. In the girls' triple jump, 41 for Allen's Cardis Netley picked up the win. So a lot of really good performances there. Let's see in the 6A. How about this from top to bottom? Braden Walker from Coppell, 55.575. That is a Texas top 50 throw, if not higher. That might be nationally ranked by the time that we end up looking. That might even be a meet record, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a quick look here and see. Yeah, what did I say? 55.75?
Yes.
Yeah, it was, let's see here, it was definitely not the meet record. But the overall, you look at the top times from the year, pretty strong. Some good, solid times so far. Take a look momentarily and see who our leaders of the pack are. It looks to be the young lady supposed to be wearing number 1 for a reason, Maya Easterwood.
Coppell.
From Coppell, you can see the length that she has on the field. I believe this is going to be the bell lap. So this is the last 400 for her.
They ring it?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
That's how good our windows are. You can't tell.
Hear
They're
anything.
completely soundproof. It's super effective. Easterwood's going to extend her lead. As you can see, not really anybody around her at this point.
Yeah, no.
And second is Megan Myers from Lake Ridge. Third is currently Olivia Spangler from Prosper. But in command of this one, heading down the stretch, is Easterwood. And she's going to pick up the win on this one running away. No one even near her off the turn. Just over 5 minutes. She's coming in down the home stretch, and she will secure the win. Just over 5:05 is her final
80
time.
meters in front of the second place finisher. Wow.
449.9 was the girls' 6A record coming in. And that'll take us to the 6A and 5A combined 1,600-meter run. We have 20 participants in this event. Evan Herrera from Rockwall Heath, Vance Balbina from College Station, Logan Clark from Lake Ridge, Michael McCart from Prosper, Ethan Carranza from Colleen Ellison, Wade Prater from South Grand Prairie, Evan Martin from Rockwall Heath, Hayden Gaunt from Woodrow Wilson, Josh Loera from North Mesquite, Brian Mateos from Sam Houston, Andrew Milan from Lebanon Trail, Brendan Miller from Mansfield, Nathan Bruckner from Allen, from Lake Ridge, Winston Thompson, from College Station, Camilo Riano, from Prosper, Noah Johnson, from Jesuit, Ethan Irabali, and from Crandall, Caden Floyd and Braden Bashirs. That is your field for this upcoming race.
Whoa.
And super,
Some like pushing and shoving going
hey,
on.
well, that's 1,600 at Sheaner, man. He gets sticky in the gutters. But again, I mean, that's navigating a race like this and being able to assert yourself in a good position. You have to do that, especially when you have an immensely competitive race like this.
The meet record in the boys 1,600-meter run was set in 1967 by Robert Gonzalez of Honduras.
1967. It's the record for this, right?
I mean, yeah, and that's one of the longest standing records. And that's the 5A record. The
5A, okay.
Yeah, the 6A record was reset back in 2014. But I mean, just think about this: 1967. This was the time in 67. 4:08.4.
Wow.
I mean, that's the type of record that sticks for 60-something years. Is you have a time that incredibly low, and you definitely earn that.
In second, with a time of 5:13.63 seconds, out of Mansfield Lake Ridge, Megan Myers. In your 2025 Jesuit-Sheaner Relay Meet Champion in the girls 1,600-meter run, with a winning time of 5:06.13 seconds, Brooks Capel, sophomore Maya Easterwood.
And looks like we have another pretty dominant performance here coming in. Let's see if we can identify this young man, number 1, Evan Herrera from Rockwall Heath. You can see him really battling that wind. You see the whipping at his hair even.
Yeah.
Really trying to charge himself through.
It's really hard.
In a really heavy pack.
Did they ring the bell, or is it the next
I believe that it's the next one. Yeah, they're not finishing this one up in 3:30.
Okay.
I think you're looking at one more 400 coming around here. Herrera's hanging on to that lead as we go into the bell lap. Trying to chase him down, though. Look at this. Logan Clark from Lake Ridge.
Yeah, trying to make a move right here.
And now they're duking it out here over the final 200. Back and forth they go. Herrera let Clark kind of lead him up a little bit, and he puts him away. Down the final 100, Evan Herrera wins the 1,600. The two competitors giving themselves a high five, along with the third-place finisher, Josh Loera from North Mesquite. Another just fantastic race. And so we'll step aside really quick as we get ready for the 4x4. Don't go anywhere. Final race of the Sheaner Relays coming up in just a moment. Our final race of the afternoon in the girls' division will be the 4x4. We have Euless Trinity, Lucas Lovejoy, Red Oak, Prosper, Rock Hill, Duncanville, College Station, and Plano West. And that's the lineup from the top to bottom of your screen as they head here on the home stretch. Excuse me, in front of the home field stretch. Apologize about that. It's been a long day here. It's been a really fun day. But, you know, at the end of it, we're always just kind of trying to get through the 4x4 as one of the most exciting races on the docket. One of those that are not usually competed until the very, very end. And we have, believe, what is it, Jet? 5 sections in the combined 6 and 5A.
Yes, 5. So that'll be a lot of 4x4s to watch.
Yeah, so still exciting to watch as Trinity's going to open this one up. And they're going to, that is going to be, we'll see on the turn. I believe that's either going to be Lovejoy or Trinity. Let's see as they come across the turn. It's Red Oak and Duncanville. Duncanville in the lead, followed by Red Oak. As the Panthers looking strong on this second leg. Yeah, Red Oak and Duncanville duking it out here.
Yeah. There'll be a third handoff?
Yeah, this will be the second handoff. So we're halfway through the race now. And it's going to be, it's too close to call between Red Oak and Duncanville.
And there's only one heat of the women's.
And this is probably the high intensity matchup you want to see between these two. Red Oak starting to get a little bit of an edge. But again, Duncanville racing smart here. I think this is intentional, Jet. Trying not to expend too much energy with the wind. And then really start to kick it into high gear as you make that final turn, kind of seeing how the pacing is. But, however, you look here at the field, they're starting to catch up to that third leg from Duncanville.
Yeah, she's making a move outside of Duncanville, right on her right shoulder.
Yeah, you see a couple now starting to pass her. But here comes Duncanville. Great move off the turn.
I think you're right.
Lovejoy, too, was even really navigating that well. But you see with the wind at her back, the third leg for the Panthers, handing it off to the anchor. Duncanville's in the lead. Kind of that third leg, you're trying to position yourself in a good spot for that anchor, right? And now you're seeing just unloading here in the anchor from Duncanville.
She's coming out of the gates.
Yep, it takes the opening lead off the opening portion. She can start to really attack the wind here. Because all you have to do at this part of the race is maintain, right? Because you can really crank it over that last turn.
Yeah, but I think she's starting to feel that wind right now.
Yeah, you can see the little bit of the slowdown between those cones at the very, very end of the turn. But she's got a lot of space here heading into the final turn. A lot of good gap, and now she can really start to gear in as she heads on that final turn. Duncanville trying to lock down the win here. Moving in, trying to get some space. Looking like they might be able to ward off the rest of the competitors here. Duncanville going to pick up the win as they cross the finish line first to wrap up the girls' division here at the Sheaner Relays. I believe that was Red Oak in second. And they gave them a really good race from wire to wire. And with that, we head to what is our final event overall, but we will have 5 heats in it. It is the 5 and 6A combined 4x4. We're going to start it off with Wilson. Again, folks, this is when they are coming around the first turn right in front of us in the press box from top to bottom. You're going to look at Woodrow Wilson, Wiley East, and Richardson. And so we'll look quickly here to see if we can take a peek at what we're going to see here. So Wilson coming in. East is going to be participating in this heat as well, along with Richardson. as we are getting set for our first of 5-time finals in the 4x4. Just waiting a few moments for the start of this race. We'll step aside here for a brief moment, come back, and get ready for the boys 4x400 meter relay, our final event here at the Jesuit-Sheaner Relays. Be right back. And welcome back, folks. That delay was occurring due to, it looks like, a shift in the heats, in the lanes of this heat. I think we had a couple of scratches in the 4x4, and that led to us being able to merge the first and second heats. Now I heard that Wilson is now in lane 1, Bell is in lane 2, and so we'll be able to tell folks what's happening after that initial turn.
Apparently lost keys have been turned into lost and found. If you have lost your keys, please report to the front gate. If you have lost your car keys, please report to the front gate.
And the race is underway as we have 5 relay teams in this 4x4 heat. Teams battling once again through that heavy wind. And the opening first transition. I think Colleen Ellison is in it.
All solid handoffs between each
Yeah,
teams.
really good handoffs there at the starting line. Get the updated leaders here at the turn. I believe that might be Crandall, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. We do not know the exact land assignments because we're looking off of our old heat sheets, and this was a merged heat. Crandall was involved in that last race there, Jed, so I'm going to go ahead and say that's Crandall that we saw in the lead. Solid race so far by the Pirates.
Is that Crandall?
Yes, I believe that's Crandall there in first place. I could tell because we were talking about how awesome their logo was, and I think I see the pirate flag on the back of the jersey.
So
And second place is Colleen. LD Bell is in third.
Audi Bell and Fort Worth, right?
Yes, yes. Hearst, like the Hearst-Euless area, I believe.
Okay. It's really crazy where all these schools come from across the state.
I mean, well, not even just from that perspective, also just from a multi-state perspective. I mean, you have a lot of states represented at this meet every year, and it just says a lot about what they've been able to build and how, on a year-by-year basis, you want to see your team compete at this event.
What's the farthest state you think has?
I know last year we had a team from Arkansas. They had a young woman that ran the 1 and 2 mile, and she was just dominant, absolutely dominant. We've seen some Oklahoma student athletes before, Louisiana. So kind of that southeast region of the U.S., but still, I mean, I think it's really impressive when you have athletes like that coming all the way out here to compete at this event. And Colleen Ellison now looking to make a move. And they'll edge him. I think Ellison got him.
Yeah.
Another fantastic race. Hey, anytime you can win your heat, right?
Exactly. This helps you get into the higher times to place later in the day when the final times are all done after all the heats have ran their races.
Officially in 3 minutes and 28.79 seconds. The winners of the second section, Colleen Ellison.
And Colleen Ellison got him. Again, a very close race, but able to pick it up.
So we're on our third heat now?
Yes, this will be the third heat.
Some good teams in this way. We have Gordon, Allen, Mansfield, Aubrey High School, Keller Fossil Ridge, DeSoto, Lovejoy, and North Garland. Someone to watch here in this, of course, Jonathan Sims. He's actually the anchor leg for this Allen relay team.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that'll be the wall. And then that's him competing in his event. In the 400, in a way. I mean, it's still it's a relay start, not a block start,
exactly.
but still.
Glad we get to see and the viewers
kind of see him do his
Jonathan
thing.
Sims.
And that's really a great way to wrap up this event. And taking a quick peek at the team scores as we head into the final few races in the girls' division. Allen's locked down the win, edging Red Oak by 3 points. In the 5A boys' division, again, this does not include the race that we're seeing right now. McKinney North running away with it. And then in the 6A boys' division, Allen is in the lead by 9 points. But again, that can be locked down here depending on how they do in this 4x4. And Mansfield Lake Ridge opening up an early, Keller Fossil Ridge opening up a lead here on this first exchange. And again, they have it clean.
Really just coming out of the curve quick by Keller Fossil Ridge, right? Wow.
Looking strong. Hit kind of a lot of daylight, which knowing who's coming on that anchor lake for Allen may not be a terrible idea. Let's just get as much space as humanly possible and then just hope and pray that we can hold off Jonathan Sims.
Really going to need that of Jonathan.
I mean, and now we're seeing Aubrey, Allen starting to chase down the rest of the competitors.
I think Sims is going to have a lot of work to do right now when he gets it.
Yeah, I see the gap right now, and I think he can make that up.
You think so?
I do. I mean, I was lucky enough to see him run this last year at the 400, and it was frankly incredible to watch. Somebody of his talent level to see what he can do. So exchange again. Keller Fossil Ridge stays in the lead. Right behind them looks to be, I believe. Let me check here on the list. I think that was maybe Mansfield, Aubrey, and Allen are in the mix there in that lead pack. Yeah, right now it's Keller Fossil Ridge, followed by Mansfield. Allen's now in third.
Passing.
Yeah, Mansfield taking over the lead. Aubrey and Allen
Whoa.
going back and forth. Allen does a good job of opening up the inside lane. And then, folks, here we go once again. Jonathan Sims about to get the baton. His team in striking distance coming off the home stretch.
Excited to see this last run by this anchor, Jonathan Sims, right now.
You can tell he is ready to rock and roll. And Sims gets the baton. He's going to be in fourth place. Little bit of a stumble start off of that, but here comes one of the top runners in the country.
He knows what to do. He knows.
And to see what he can do here, he's already passing by one. He's about to get by another. Takes the outside edge. He's got to chase down Mansfield and Keller Fossil Ridge. But right now he's also having to battle back and forth with Gordon, even just to get past there. I don't know if he'll be able to make that turn in time, especially looking into the wind. He's going to have a lot of work to do over the final 100. Mansfield holding on to the lead. Fossil Ridge in second. Here comes Sims. He's lengthening his stride.
Wow.
Sims is going to put this one away. Look at him move. Puts the Eagles into second. He's got one more to chase down. Jonathan Sims is going to do it. Get past the second place and pick up the win for Allen.
You were right. That gap was not big enough.
Unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
I mean, even I didn't know if he was going to be able to pull that off of watching it down that second and third turn. Unbelievable final 100.
It was the very end of that curve where we were just like, okay, he's got it. Wow.
What an outstanding relay race. We still got 2 more heats to go and some big-time schools coming up on the horizon. Don't want to say I called my shot, but I mean, no, just kidding. He's he's an incredibly talented young man, and we knew what he was capable of coming into this meet. He came in. You read the Dallas Morning News meet preview. Him and Lukenhaus were 2 of the athletes that were highlighted, and they've both been able to do exactly what we expected them to do this year, and it's just been exactly what we've expected from them. But frankly, it's been really incredible just to see the talent across the board at this year's meet. I mean, I'd be stunned. As time goes on, we will learn more and more about how many national elite performances have been registered at this event. We will learn how many U.S. top 25 events. We'll learn how many U.S. top 10. And then, of course, as we go into May, we'll find out how many of these guys have qualified for state. And, folks, if you're track and field fans here in Texas, we really hope you've had the opportunity to watch some of the top-level talent that we know exists here in the state, especially here in the Metroplex, because I think you're going to see a lot of these young men and women competing in Austin and at the SPC and TAPS championships very, very soon.
And another thing about Jonathan Sims is he's actually committed to Georgia. He's going to.
He is going to Georgia.
Yep, I just checked it. I just checked his Instagram.
As the
he's going to be a Georgia
Heat
Bulldog.
is coming up here.
Georgia actually has a really up-and-coming track and field program. Their past few recruiting classes has been phenomenal. And then you get Jonathan Sims.
Yeah,
that's just perfect.
And then looking at this is the 4th of 5 4x4 relays. We have, again, from top of your screen to bottom, Jesuit, Mesquite, Willis, McKinney-Boyd, Plano West, Red Oak, Royce City, and Coppell.
And your runners for Dallas Jesuits 4x4 relay team. First leg, Jesse Jenkins. Second leg, Eli Pruer. Third leg, Chase Brown. And, of course, your anchor, Harlan Buechler.
First exchange, we'll get the leaders as they come around the corner here.
Eli Pruer running a really good leg right now off the curve.
Looks like Mesquite is in first, followed by Jesuit. McKinney-Boyd is in there. Plano West is in fourth.
Jesuit trying to make a move coming off this.
Kind of in the same boat. You just want to be in striking distance because,
yeah.
I mean, the Rangers are being consistent, and you have Chase and Harlan on the back end. You just want to be in the zone and at the chance to possibly secure a medal here in the top three. Eli doing a good job of holding on and just keeping the Rangers in contention at the exchange. Now Chase takes it.
Chase got it.
And it's going to be 1, 2, 3, Mesquite, McKinney-Boyd, and Jesuit and Plano West. Those are your top four here in this heat. Mesquite looking strong. Plano West, what a fantastic move there on the outside edge by the third leg for the Wolves. That's Jaden Mays. Trying to get some additional space here to close this one down. These squads just keep on battling. Back and forth they go. McKinney, Mesquite, Plano West battling it out. And here comes the final leg. Look at these three. Plano West, I believe, is now in the lead heading into the final 400. Wolves have it right now, but here comes Mesquite on the outside edge.
Wow.
They're picking up some good spots. McKinney-Boyd just lingering, though. Broncos waiting for their moment. I think that's Braden Higginbotham running the 400 on the anchor for Jesuit.
Guess he was the alternate.
Harlan's done enough today.
Yeah.
Harlan's done enough.
Too many records. They gave him the
So
last
Plano
stage.
West looking to close this one down, turning around the home stretch. Will we see the kick from Boyd? You tell they were waiting for it, but I don't think it's going to happen as Plano West is pulling away with an outstanding run on the back half of that anchor leg of the 400, and they will secure the win. As that was Jaden Haynes who put the hammer down, and an outstanding run for our penultimate heat of the 2025 Jesuit-Sheaner Relay. So with that, let's go to our final heat of our final event. It is the fifth and final heat of the 4x4. Jet, take us home.
We have Salina, Wiley High School, Broken Arrow High School, McKinney North, Mansfield Lake Ridge, and Cedar Hill. Always have to be careful for Cedar Hill. Always have good relay teams. And then Justin Northwest, and then last but not least, your Duncanville Panthers.
And so, yeah, interesting to see Duncanville over in lane 8 for this event. Would definitely like to see if they can do something on the outside edge.
Yeah,
that wouldn't surprise me as well to see if they can make some noise from the outside.
Of course, how the track is designed doesn't really matter what lane you're in at the end of the day. But lane 8 is still, you just don't really want to be in lane 8.
No, you're in the edge. I mean, not a lot of wiggle with lane 8.
Exactly, especially on the 200-meter. You're in a lane 8, and then after you come off that curve, it feels like everyone is running to chase you at the end. And it's it's just not your ideal lane to be in for any relay or any race. But it is interesting to see how they managed to run this race in lane 8.
And so here we go. Final heat of what has been nothing short of another incredible Jesuit-Sheaner relays. It's been unbelievably fun to carry this one for you folks here on JesuitRangers.org. The Jesuit Ranger Sports Network proud to bring this annual showcase of track and field in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex to you. As the opening leg off the first turn, it's Duncanville, as we talked about at 8.
Strong.
Still a lot of race left to go here in this one.
Yep.
I think this one's probably as close to a heavyweight battle as we're going to see in the 4x4. Yeah, we'll find out who won the event at the conclusion of all the heats.
Okay.
That's what Jet and I were just briefly talking about to see what the time to beat was.
Yeah. It's kind of weird how these finals work with the 4x4 because you have these 6 heats at the end of the day, and you don't really know
Where everybody's falling
where
together.
everybody's falling. Especially as an athlete, you're kind of like, what do I need to be? You don't know before you run. So you just
got to run your best time.
You
And,
can't worry
and
about
hope
that.
and hope it's good enough.
Hopefully it's good enough to place. But that's just another. Just
It looks like Duncanville still in control in this one. Broken Arrow, they've really showcased some really strong sprinters today. They're sitting there in second place.
Where's Broken Arrow from? Is that
I believe Oklahoma.
Is that Oklahoma?
Broken Arrow in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. So Duncanville hanging on to the lead at the midway point.
Oh!
And Duncanville takes a spill, and that's going to open the door for the rest of the field.
I think did he just trip?
Yeah, I believe so, but let's turn our attention just back on the turf as Justin Northwest and Colleen Ellison are there. Luckily, the young man's up under his own power. He's able to get up off of the track and onto the grass on the infield.
Really unfortunate.
Yeah, Duncanville was in the middle of a great race there in the 4x4.
Duncanville has had some bad luck today.
But again, it's a really good learning experience as you head into the home stretch of the season. And hopefully you just kind of take the best that you can out of those unfortunate situations as another handoff goes. And I believe that's Justin Northwest that takes the lead.
Yeah, I think that young man will be okay. Coach Proctor was tending to him.
And it's Justin Northwest now in first place. Lake Ridge starting to track him down.
Cedar Hill also.
Yeah, Cedar Hill is in play.
Making a good move.
And here they come down the home stretch.
Cedar Hill trying to make a move for third.
Yeah, Lake Ridge is going to pick up the win in this final heat.
Yep.
Broken Arrow in second. Looks like Cedar Hill is going to finish in third. And that is going to wrap up the 2025 Jesuit-Sheaner Relays. Once again, folks, thank you so much for joining us. You can visit JesuitRangers.org for live results. As we look to wrap up the 2025 Jesuit-Sheaner Relays, you can also check out the results on Mile Split, and that will take care of it for Gianni Gutierrez, Sutton Wall, Carson Long, and the rest of our crew. I'm Brian Montgomery, wishing you a good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in and enjoying the 2025 Jesuit-Sheaner Relays. Have a good weekend, folks.
Thank you.